ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that has made it possible for us to plan, and we are executing now the 26th National Alumni Training Forum, themed The Menace in the World, Muslim Stars on Call. We are starting with the first program, Etiquette, and to do that for us is no other person than our mother, sister in the house, HAJIA ABDULLAH. She is a caterer and event planner, the MD CEO of Siddiqah Ventures, inshallah. She's taking us through the topic, etiquette of condolence, inshallah. Bismillah.
أعوذ بالله السميع العليم من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله. Alhamdulillah. Today we shall be talking about etiquette of condolence. Allah in His infinite mercy has informed us earlier in His holy book. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَالنَّقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ الَّذِينَ إِذَا أَصَابَتْهُم مُّصِيبَةٌ قالوا إِنَّا لِلَّهِ وَإِنَّا إِلَيْهِ راجعون أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. صدق الله العظيم.
Allahu Akbar.
Already He has informed us that He will, of course, try us in different ways, with fear, with hunger, with loss of wealth, with loss of life, with loss of a lot of things that we thought are ours, but which it is Allah that has provided them for us. However, Allah says, but for those who, when this disaster strikes, they say what? Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Those are the ones upon whom are blessings of their Lord and Allah's mercy. And it is those who are rightly guided. So definitely Allah has informed us, calamities will strike. And as Muslims, this our religion is ad-din wal haya. It is religion and way of life. Anything at all that we want to do, our Islam has taught us how to do it. Allah has not left the Muslims alone. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
We are totally guided in everything. So even in the matter of calamities, when it strikes, how do we give condolence? Islam has taught us, and that is what we want to discuss today. What is condolence? Condolence is the expression of sympathy. Literally, that's what it means. But in Islam, it means more than that. It means sharing in the person's grief, encouraging the person to be patient with Allah's decree, inducing solace, trying to give solace to the person, give moral support. All these are what condolence encompasses in Islam. When do we give condolence? Of course, whenever calamity strikes, there is need to give condolence. It is not only when people die. When somebody dies, yes, it is paramount. But when there is a loss of wealth too, or some other calamities like Allah has mentioned, that He will try us in different ways. When such things occur, we need to give condolence. Then we might be in that area where that thing happened and feel like, why do I need to go and give condolence? Yes, we do need. At least for two reasons. One, to give moral support to that person who needs it. To induce patience at that time, because it is not easy for the person who has been stricken by that calamity to be patient. So we need to be there for that person, give moral support. And secondly, for our own honor on Yawm al-Qiyamah, there is an hadith. Amr ibn Azm reported that Rasulullah sallallahu said, every believer who consoles his brother in distress will be dressed by Allah in an apparel of honor on Yawm al-Qiyamah.
Allahu Akbar.
These were reported by Ibn Majah. We will see that the condolence is a win-win situation, it's a win-win thing. You are giving somebody moral support. At the same time, you are preparing yourself for honor on Yawm al-Qiyamah. So once you are around somebody who has lost something or who has faced any catastrophe or any calamity has stricken somebody, please be there to give condolence. Please be there to support your sister or brother at that moment. Whom do we offer our condolence to? Everybody. Male, female, young, old, even non-Muslims. We offer our condolence to them. So once somebody is stricken by any calamity or catastrophe, we should be there as Muslims to support. Now, to now narrow it down to loss of life. If there is a case of loss of life, okay, now we have agreed that yes, Islam taught us that once there's any calamity, we have to be there to support whoever it has happened to, whether Muslim or non-Muslim, whether old or young, whether male or female, we should be there to assist. How long are we going to do this? Okay, something has happened to my neighbor, so I'll be going there for the rest of the year or for the rest of the... How long do I continue to give this condolence? In case of death, one may offer this condolences either before or after the burial. Maybe immediately you heard that the person has died, you go there and give your own condolence. Or maybe after the burial. However, it should not exceed 3 days. The proof of these 3 days, we will find this in Sahih Buhari, volume 2, hadith 370. Narrated Zainab bint Abu Salama. When the news of death of Abu Sufyan reached from Sham, Habiba, on the 3rd day, asked for a perfume and scented her cheeks and forearms. And she said, no doubt, I wouldn't have been in need of this perfume had I not heard the Prophet saying, it is not legal for a woman who believes in Allah and the last day to mourn for more than 3 days for any dead person except her husband, for whom she should mourn for 4 months and 10 days. If we get home, we should all check our Sahih Buhari. There are 3 separate hadiths on this. I will only quote this one. There's one on ADAB, there's another one, all telling us that Rasulullah said, whoever believes in Allah and the last day should not mourn anybody for more than 3 days, except a wife mourning her husband, who should do that for 4 months and 10 days. Even if the deceased is a child. In the case of Atiyah, in the hadith in Sahih Buhari, it was Atiyah's son that died. And on the 3rd day, she requested for perfume. Not that she needed it, but because she wanted to show that I have stopped mourning. However, this does not stop somebody who was not around when the calamity happened. When somebody was not around and the burial has been done past 3 days, it is still onus on us to get to the place to pay our own homage, to just give our own condolence, because we were not present at that time. And even if the bereaved, the person who lost, whether a son or a child, was not around when it happened, whenever the person comes down, maybe she doesn't live, let's say in Lagos, for instance, she doesn't live here or she doesn't live in Nigeria, and she now had the news of her son's death. She came from abroad. Maybe before she could process everything, it was a week later. Even if she came a week later, we still have to go and offer our condolence, because she was not present within that 3 days. She was not present. However, we only go in and come out without sitting down. So that is the only time when we are allowed to go more than 3 days in condolence. When it is the case of a woman for her husband, you mourn for more than 3 days. And when it is the case of somebody who was not present, either the bereaved or those who want to give condolence were not present. Now, how do we offer condolence? The sooner of this is that we should go there, pray for the family, and leave immediately. In the school of thought of Shafi, they don't even allow gathering at all. They're not supposed to gather. Let's rent chairs so that people can sit down. It is not, in that school of thought, it is not even allowed. And Imam Ahmad is of that opinion too, and some Hanafi scholars, that it is disliked. However, it is not haram for somebody who has come to pay condolence to sit down. We are not saying it is haram, because there's a big difference between haram and disliked. When something is haram, anybody that does it is liable to punishment. But it is disliked because one of the reasons why Imam Shafi dislike it is that in that case, when you elongate the gathering of condolence, it brings more sorrow. You are trying to alleviate the person's grief. You are trying to induce solace. You are trying to, but yet, as long as the person keeps singing, the Yoruba people will say that we will continue to pray that people will not come and gather sleepers in front of their door. You know what it means in this land. You know what it means. The more she sees or he sees that people are coming, so I'm the one that is bereaved. So I'm the one the calamity has fallen upon. You understand? So you are even adding to the sorrow when you gather and stay there. But when you go there, give the words of solace, advise the person, and leave immediately. You allow the person to gather himself or herself. That, okay, yes, it has happened. Alhamdulillah, okay, my sisters have advised me. Let me brace up. You understand? Once you leave and you go, she'll start thinking of bracing up because she knows, okay, it has ended. But you have come, you are still there, you are still thinking, you are still talking about it, you are still making her think more and more of the sorrow that has befallen her. And this is why gathering in the house of the bereaved is highly discouraged. It is highly discouraged in that essence. Now, if there are other bid'ah added to it, then it is strongly forbidden. You know, it has degenerated from just ordinary gathering now to maybe putting up of tents. You understand? Or, okay, let us go and rent chairs so that when people come, they can sit. Okay, let us employ the musician that will play so that people will not be bored. Let us start buying cow and so that people that are sitting from morning till evening, at least they will be hungry. These are excesses, bid'ah that have never been practiced by Rasulullah and the companions. And so therefore, it should not be practiced by us. In this case, it is strongly forbidden. In some instances, they will say it is Quran that we are reading now. It is also, because in this case, the partying is going on while some people are reciting Quran as if they are singing song. Causing more sins to be committed. So this is not allowed. Then designating a particular day apart from that 3 days, okay, let us fix 40 days, let us fix 31 days, let us fix 2 months, celebration, remembrance, anniversary of death. All these are bid'ah that are strongly forbidden in Islam. Now, what are the wordings of condolence? Now, we have understood that we as Muslims must pay condolences when calamity strikes to support each other and induce patience. Now, so what do we say when we now get there? Okay, alhamdulillah, we are going there. We will not sit for long. But at least when we get there, what do we say? It's not a strict rule of you must speak Arabic when you get there. No. Condolences should be made in any language that is convenient. As long as it does these 3 things. 1, as long as it induces patience. As long as it induces patience. Something that you will tell somebody that will make the person think and have sorrow. Secondly, something that will lighten the distress. You can compare situations for her. My sister, what Allah has done for you is even better. What of this? What if he has brought it this way? What if he has brought it this way? It would have been worse if this had not happened. Something else. You have lightened this. It is a child that has died, but you have lightened it that something worse could have happened. So you lighten the distress. So as long as the language you are using can lighten distress, can induce patience in that person, and thirdly, can bring solace. One of the ways of bringing solace, tell her she will meet that person in Al-Jannah. That will bring solace. I can remember that was a 10-year-old. Today she's about 16 now. Then she was 10 years old when the father passed away. And people were saying, don't let us tell her, or don't tell her yet. I said, don't tell her yet. Where will you tell her? Please call her. Will you like to meet Abu in Al-Jannah? She said, yes. You understand? When they told her, when they broke the news that Abu has died, she started crying. And I told her, you promised that you would love to meet Abu in Al-Jannah. She said, yes. And I saw her calmed down.
Allah Akbar.
You understand? That brings solace. Even for a 10-year-old, she could reason that if it is Al-Jannah, I think that one is better. Alhamdulillah. So let's give solace. As long as what you want to tell the person will lighten the distress, will induce patience, and will bring solace. Say it in any language. However, it will be good to know what to say from Quran and Hadith. So let's go into those ones too. From the verse we started with, Quran 2, verse 155 to 156, Allah stated it there, that those who say, when calamity strikes, those who say, indeed, we are from Allah, and indeed we return to Him. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. That is the first thing to say. So the first thing to say when you get there is Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. That statement, we're still coming to that. When I bring one of these, I'll break it down, that statement, so that we understand that that statement is short in our mouth, but it is encompassing a lot of meaning. It is really, really wealthy in meaning. Then, the hadith that I want to quote is in Sahih Bukhari, volume 2, hadith 373. When one of the daughters of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam requested that Rasulullah should come, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that one of her own daughter is dying. One of her own one child of hers is dying, that her own father should please come. When the messenger came, Rasulullah sent the person back. Go and tell her that Inna lillahi ma akhadha. Indeed, for Allah belongs what Allah has taken. Walahu ma ata. And to Him belongs what He has given. Wa kulli shay'in indahu bi ajalin musamma. And everything with Allah has an appointed time. Fal tasbir. Go and have patience. Wal tahtasib. And go and be contented with the decree of Allah.
Allahu Akbar.
Kabirullah.
Allahu Akbar.
That is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam telling his own daughter.
Rasulullah was losing a grandchild.
Yes, was losing a grandchild. He was losing a grandchild. And the daughter sent a message that, please tell my daddy to come. Please tell him to come. That was the message he gave. You understand? So we should learn from this. And in the commentary of Imam An-Nawawi on this hadith, he said, this hadith is very comprehensive because it encourages one to be patient in the face of a catastrophe and any hard time. And also, it teaches us the meaning of Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. This hadith is like a tafsir of that ayah. It teaches us what it actually means. And what it means is that everything which Allah takes from us initially belongs to Him.
Allah.
It was actually His. He only gave us to hold. Therefore, what He has taken belongs to Him. And whatever He has given us also belongs to him, even if he has not taken it. That day he was taking a child. He is still leaving the husband, Abi.
Yes.
Even the husband that he has not taken belongs to him.
Allah
That's what it
Akbar.
means. So if you are saying, Allah took your child, the husband that he has left, the remaining children he has left, the house you are living he has left, the wealth you had that he has left, every other thing that he has left for you actually belongs to him.
Allah Akbar.
He has only taken maybe one fraction of what he has given. So if our understanding is like that, then when we say inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, we have said a lot of things, because it only underlines the fact that it was not ours initially. And then in this hadith, also Islam mentioned something. He said, wa kullu shay'in indahu bi ajalin musamma. For everything, there's an appointed time. It shows that all these things were given to us on trust. Just hold it. Keep it for me. Even if Allah says, hold it for 100 years, it is an appointed time. 100 years, Makpe. It is only the time that you did not stipulate that you will not count. That day would surely come. Even if you say 20 years from now, you will just open your eyes one day and it is already 20 years. So if you are saying, oh Allah, it's for somebody who has not been given a child, and the person is not saying, even if you give me for 20 years and take it back, okay, don't worry. And Allah will now elongate the person's life. The 20 years will now, of course, it will now come to pass. So even 100 years is an appointed time. And whatever Allah has given us, only Allah knows the appointed time. We don't know. We have husband, we have children, we have father, house, mothers, house, so many things, wealth, every other thing that Allah has provided for us. All of them, with no exception, they were given on trust and only for an appointed time. The only thing we don't know is whether the appointed time will exceed our own lifetime. Or it will be during our own lifetime. Only Allah knows that. But this shows us that everything given is given for an appointed time. So that is what you now say to the person who has been bereaved. So by the time you say all this, the person will calm down. It will bring solace. It will bring comfort. It will give hope of patience to that person. Now, some scholars also made efforts on what can we say when we go to the bereaved. And in this effort, we are going to learn 4 things. If a Muslim, the first situation is if a Muslim offers condolence to another Muslim in a case where the deceased is a Muslim. That is one situation. The person that died is a Muslim. You that you want to go and pay condolence, you are a Muslim. And the person you are going to pay the condolence to, the person receiving the condolence, as the member of the family of the dead, is also a Muslim. So that is one situation. In that situation, what do you say? You say, A'azamallahu ajraka wa ahsanu azaaka wa ghafara limaitaka. A'azamallahu ajraka. May Allah increase your reward. Wa ahsanu azaaka. And may Allah give you the best consolation. Wa ghafara limaitaka. And may Allah forgive your dead. In that case, for every Muslim who calamity has befallen, there is a reward. Allah will use that to forgive his sins. And Allah will also use that if the person is patient to prepare something for the person on Yawm al-Qiyamah. For instance, if a child is taken, there is an hadith that says, if a child is taken from a Muslim, the angels will go back to report to Allah. And Allah will say, he is Allah who has sent them to go and do that. To go and bring the soul. And when they come, they say, have you taken the soul of my slave's child? And the angels will say, yes, oh Allah. And what did my slave say? And if they tell Allah that she was contented, and Allah, she said, Alhamdulillah. Allah Akbar. Allah will say, take that statement and use it to build a mansion for her in Al-Jannah. And name that mansion Baytul Hamd. Allahu Akbar. The house of praise. And on that day, when somebody will see that house, she will wish that maybe all the children should have been taken. Allahu Akbar. But when somebody is patient, that is what the person gets in
as
reward.
a reward.
So why you will now say Azamallahu ajraka is because for every calamity that befalls a Muslim, there's a reward when the person is patient. So of course, this person you are talking to is a Muslim. You will now say, may Allah increase that reward for you, because you already know that okay, Allah will definitely reward you. Definitely, I know, and we both have faith
That's a reward.
that there is reward for this when you are patient. So I am now wishing you that Allah will increase that reward. Wa ahsana azahaka. Of course, the reward is on Yawm al-Qiyamah, but the reward the person has not seen. Abi? So what you are now saying is, may Allah give you the best consolation. That is something in this world that will console you. Like what Allah did to ABDULLAH and Toliha. The story of ABDULLAH, we all know that.
Yes.
That story. When the son of ABDULLAH died, and Toliha kept the child. The child was ill before the father left. And when by the time the father came back, the child was already dead. She has already shrouded the child and kept the child away. When the father came, she just said, I hope is at peace. And Pastor said, okay. And they had normal situation in the night with the husband. When the morning came, she now told the husband that that child has passed away. Since when? She told him. The man was aggrieved. He went to Rasulullah after the Subi prayer. He told him what happened. The man said, may Allah bless your nights. That conjugal of that night, Allah blessed it. And they later had 9 Hafiz al-Quran. After that child that died, Allah gave them 9 Hafiz al-Quran in place. That is consolation in this world, a better consolation. So when you go to greet your sister, you will say, Azamallahu ajraka. That reward that is kept for you on Yawm al-Qiyamah, may Allah increase it. You understand? Wa ahsana azaaka. And the one that will console you in this world, may Allah provide it. Wa ghafara liman ittaqa. And may Allah forgive that one that died. So you have prayed for the 3 concerned. Now the second situation. If one gives condolence to a Muslim for a disbelieving relative, one should say, you that you are giving the condolence, of course you are a Muslim. So the person you are giving the condolence to is a Muslim as well. But the relative that died is a disbeliever. So in that case, what do you say? You say, A'zamallahu ajraka wa ahsanu azaaka, and you stop it there. You have no business to say, wa ghafara liman ittaqa. Because as a Muslim, even if you pray for that disbeliever, you are wasting that prayer. Allah, he has no business. If he is still alive, you can still continue to pray that Allah changes his mind to become a faithful one. But once he's dead, he only has business with his Lord. You don't have any business with that person again. So what you just do is pray for the person that you are giving the condolence to, and pray for a better consolation for the person. Maybe it's a child or the husband or the wife that has died, but that person that died is a non-Muslim. The third situation, if one is giving condolence to a disbeliever, maybe the person is your neighbor or even a family member. We all have it in our families. May Allah bring them back to Islam.
Amen.
Maybe it's a disbeliever but a relative or a neighbor or someone that you know you needed to give condolence to, and you are now there to give condolence. So you are giving condolence to a disbeliever, but the relative that died is a believer. Do you understand? Is a Muslim. The person that died is a Muslim, but the person you are giving the condolence to is not a Muslim. In that case, the only thing you remove away is Azamallahu ajraka, because he does not have any. He's not thinking of you. You know you are not expecting that on that day, except maybe later when you convert. But as it is, no reward. You understand? So you are not going to say Azamallahu ajraka. So what you just say is Ahsanullahu azaka. Azaaka. Ahsanullahu azaaka. Yes. That consolation, may Allah give you the best consolation. You understand? May Allah console you in the best manner. Wa ghafara liman ittaqa. Because the person that died is a Muslim. So you say wa ghafara liman ittaqa. May Allah forgive the dead. Now, the fourth situation. If both the deceased, the person that died, and the bereaved is the person that lost somebody, Deceased is the person that died. The bereaved is the person that lost somebody. If both of them are disbelievers, and you now go there to pay condolence, what do you say? So you just wish them, akhlafallahu alayka. May Allah replace it for you. Akhlafallahu alayka. You understand? Now, in this case, that akhlafa reminds me of something. When somebody's husband died, or even a child, or any calamity that befalls, please, when we get there, let us ask the person if he has said the sunnah prayer of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That okay, that hadith was related by Salama. That when Abu Salama died, she was thinking, there's nobody that can be like Abu Salama in this world. But Rasulullah told them a prayer that but we should just remind ourselves that we should ask for a replacement from Allah. And in the case of that replacement for a non-Muslim, we can also ask for. So we can say akhlafallahu, you understand, alayka. So that prayer we can also do. However, these 4 situations that I've mentioned now, we can say it in our language, whether Yoruba language, Hausa language, Igbo language, but we should just know the situations and know what to say. When the person that died is a Muslim, know what to say. When the person that died is a non-Muslim, know what to say. And when the person that is bereaved is a non-Muslim, know what to say. Allahumma ajurni fi musibati wa akhlifni khayran minha. That's the prayer.
Okay.
We should tell the wife of the deceased to say Allahumma ajurni fi musibati wa akhlifni khayran minha. Oh Allah, alleviate this calamity for me. Wa akhlifni khayran minha, and provide for me something better than it. Salama said, I said this prayer, and Allah replaced Abu Salama with somebody better than him, which is Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah later married her off to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You understand? So that is somebody better by far than Abu Salama. So when you lose something, it could be wealth. When we lose something, when we say Allah inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un, we should also say Allahumma ajurni fi musibati wa akhlif li khayran minha. And for all this that we have said, the person that is receiving the condolence should only say Amin, Jazakumullah khairan. Amin, Jazakumullah khairan. And that is where we'll stop, inshallah. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika, ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. I've really added to my wealth of knowledge, and I'm sure my audience here and at home, my viewers, I've learned 1 or 2 things as well. I'm sure I've added to my wealth of knowledge, and I'm ready to be a change in the society. I won't be a menace. The menace in the world, Muslim stars on call. We say Jazakumullah khairan to our dear sister. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala increase your wealth of knowledge, and let us gain more from you, inshallah. So that's why we're rounding up with this topic, this session. So if you have any question, any comments, let us visit our Facebook page and our YouTube pages. Our questions will be answered adequately, inshallah. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spare our soul. May we witness more of good things in our life. We pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our disease and grant those of us living good health, long life and prosperity, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah.